Hey y'all, welcome to Proof TV. I'm Devin.
And I'm Andrea.
And today we're going to be doing Proof 101, the show where we show you how to make our favorite drinks. If you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe. And today we're going to be doing a very special version of Proof 101. Andrea, would you care to elaborate?
Of course. So this is our Christmas special, you guys. Today we're doing not one, not two, but 3 drinks, which is super cool. 2 of them are classics and 1 of them is a Proof original. So we're gonna start with a Hot Toddy, and then we're gonna show you guys how to do a hot apple pie, and then we're gonna end with what we call the red nose. And that one is a surprise, so you should stick around.
Cool. Well, let's get started with the Hot Toddy and just roll right into it. It's a very, very simple drink, and you won't need much to make it.
So we're gonna need, for the Hot Toddy we're making today, bourbon, herbal tea, honey, lemon, and some mint sprigs to garnish. For tools, you will need a mug, something to measure with, a stirring spoon, and just a regular spoon.
So first and foremost, and the most important step to this whole process is making sure that you preheat your mug. Okay, so what does that mean? It's not putting it in the oven and letting it heat up. What you're gonna do is take some hot water and pour it in the mug up to the brim and make sure it gets nice and toasty. So let that sit for a while.
And how long is a while, Devin?
2 to 3 minutes.
Okay,
yeah, I'd say it's probably fine. But what you want to
Alright.
also do simultaneous to that is prepare some tea according to the instructions on the bag. That leads us to our next step, which is once the tea is just about ready, you're gonna pour the hot water out of the mug and take a tablespoon or regular old spoon worth of honey. Why don't you kick us off?
Thank you. So while we get this going, because the honey is a little slow.
That's a lot of honey.
Ooh, okay, honey.
Going heavy. Going heavy on the honey. She's a little bit of a bear, okay?
I
a little bit of a honey bear.
Let's talk about the Hot Toddy, just in general.
Yeah, it's somewhat medicinal. When you're getting a cold, you're like, oh, a Hot Toddy. Or it's a rainy day and you're like feeling the sniffles coming on. You're like, a Hot Toddy sounds good. Or you're trying to wind down after a long day. Where it got dark early, you know? I don't really know if it actually does anything medically that is better for you, but...
Actually, I mean, there was this guy, Robert Bentley Todd, who was a physician known to have
He was a very good looking physician?
Very good looking physician.
Kind of a hot toddy? Is that what you said?
Flaming hot. But no, so I think that one of the theories of how the Hot Toddy came to inception was that he made it to kind of like help people feel better when they were like going through flu or, you know.
Prescribe it. I've heard other stories. But before I tell you about those other stories, what you're gonna do, and this is kind of the fun part about this recipe, it's not so exact as other ones. You're not measuring out, 1 ounce, 2 ounces. Literally, for this next step, you're just gonna take a quarter of a lemon and squeeze that into your cup over your honey. Okay, so let's do that,
Lemon and honey.
So the other origin story is that instead of this Robert Bentley Todd guy, there was a story that in Scotland, there was a public house that started to serve scotch with hot water. And the interesting thing is the largest well in Scotland at the time was the Well Todd. So people say that, it was like having some hot toddy on your scotch. So that's the other one. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take that hot prepared tea and we're gonna pour it over our lemon and honey. And why don't you kick us off?
Of course. So the tea we're using today is really kind of like a generic herbal tea. We're using chamomile and mint. And the reason why we chose that is because we feel like the chamomile really goes well with the honey, with the bourbon, and it smells great. So we love it.
All right, and now we're going to finally get to business, which is the booze. And
This is where it gets good.
Today we are using a breaking and entering American whiskey from St. George Spirits. This is a rare one. It's been 5 years since they released it, and we're using it today in this kind of special.
We're about to kill it, as you can see.
Finish this one off in this drink. So why don't you kick us off with that?
All right.
Yeah, and the cool part about this drink is while we're using bourbon, you don't necessarily have to use bourbon. You can use brandy or cognac or rum, whatever kind of like darker spirit you want. And you're gonna measure out 1.5 ounces of that spirit and pour it on the top of your tea. So make sure to leave a little room when you're pouring that tea.
Yep. All right.
Ooh, yeah, we just killed it.
Oh, yeah.
It was nice knowing you. So next you're gonna stir that up with your bar spoon. So take it, plunk it in your mug. Stir until you don't feel any stickiness down at the bottom, because that's what the honey will leave, is like kind of a residual kind of friction down at the bottom, and that's how you'll know, once that goes away, you'll know you're in business to start the boozing. And now we're gonna go ahead and just dress these with a little bit of garnish just to make it feel a little extra. And what we've got today is some lemon wheels and some sprigs of the mint. So we'll just go ahead and toss those on. I always like to put a little slice in there so it has something to grab on with. And
so
yeah,
it can go
then
on the rim.
Pac-Man's gonna eat this glass.
Oh yeah.
And then why don't you kick us off?
Yeah, so for the mint, you kind of want to leave the stem a little longer.
Give it a couple slaps.
So that it releases the oils. Already smelling great. And then you put that in. Kind of gonna like do a little securing here along with the
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Have the lemon wedge kind of hold it in place.
Yeah.
That is a pretty good looking hot toddy. Very easy to make, as we just showed you. Like, not that much. You can kind of wing it too. You can sub in maple syrup for honey or whatever you got around that's kind of sweet. Anyway, let's try these.
Play with it. Yeah.
Let's give them a shot.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I feel myself getting healthier and drunker at the same time. It's great. Yeah, that's tasty.
That is really good. So this one, definitely top favorite. I'll keep doing this for the rest of the season.
Absolutely.
Until it's warm again.
Especially with the chamomile mint. The chamomile mint, very good. It works very well. So if you ever find any tea like that, I highly recommend using it. Cool. All right, on to the next one. Let's talk about the hot apple pie.